Fancy lad.
Fancy lad.
Fancy
Podcast. Fancy lad.
Fancy
Podcast. Gonna talk to my friends. Gonna share a
Fancy
thought.
lad.
Gonna have a laugh. That's what I
Fancy
thought.
lad.
Fancy lad.
Fancy
Fancy
lad.
podcast. Fancy lad. Fancy lad
Fancy lad.
podcast. Yeah.
And we are back.
Oh, baby, yes, indeed, we are back
Mm-hmm.
again.
I love it when you say that, and I love it when you come into with that amount of excitement. You know?
Oh yeah, you gotta be excited at the beginning of the episode because you know how it goes.
Yeah, if we're not excited,
Mm-hmm.
how are you going to expect all the sweaty and deranged fans at home to get excited?
Or any more excited than they normally are.
Right. Well,
'Cause- Lord knows they're excited.
they're excited, and they're excitable, but
Mhm.
I want to see those beads of sweat just shoot from their pores. Yeah.
Dude, wouldn't that be? I've always thought that'd be great if you could just have like a button.
Yep.
So imagine like a hose that just plugs into your arm, and then you have a button, and you're just like, and it just pushes all the shit out of all your pores, all at once.
A sort of pore enema.
Pore enema. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a little. You feel it. It's like a little hydraulic push. You
Yeah.
push down. You feel the pressure, and it's
But
all your pores.
I'm saying these beads of sweat are shooting in every direction, almost like the pins on Pinhead's head if they shot out like a bullet.
Right.
And they just start hitting people at random. And they don't hurt people, but people get very annoyed. They're like, what the hell was that?
I mean,
That
that's
was, that was
gross.
your sweat?
That was your sweat, and you just shot it at me.
But they just rapid fire just keep coming. No, this isn't happening. Oh, no. Oh, sweat grenade. This is the worst. And that was a sweat grenade launcher,
It was a sweat mortar round.
which is my favorite weapon in GoldenEye.
Oh, the sweat grenade launcher.
The sweat grenade launcher.
I love the double slaps.
Oh, yeah. hmm
Slaps only.
It's weird that you use the double slaps and you're always on your knees and you just kind of go right for that groin area when you play.
I'm always expecting that you're going to come in hot as odd job, so I just want to get right at neck level.
Mhm.
And if not, if you come in as Jaws,
He's still got a big ass dick, so it still works out.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
Right.
Well, I didn't know if you knew this. GoldenEye was actually a movie franchise.
I'm familiar with the GoldenEye movie franchise. I've seen all the GoldenEye movies.
Technically, it was a video game franchise because they came out with multiple GoldenEyes. None of them were successful. But I misspoke. I meant to say James Bond
Oh, yes.
is a movie franchise.
Yes, I know. I've heard of that before.
Now, Sean Connery, yeah, he's
Careful what you say. Tread lightly.
I guess you could consider him an A-list actor.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But
Entrapment?
let me just say this real quick. He is no Devon Sawa.
He is not Devon Sawa.
Yeah.
That is true. As far as I can recall, Sean Connery was not in Idle Hands.
No. Okay, you can mention whatever, quote unquote films Sean Connery was in, but let me mention a few that Devon Sawa was in.
Okay. Are we doing it simultaneously?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me when you're going to start.
I'm going to start right now.
Okay. Ready? Go.
Idle Hands.
GoldenEye.
Oh, I thought that I would go first, and
okay.
it would be like a kind of a tennis ball game.
I thought you meant simultaneously, like, why don't we do it your
I
way?
always-
It'll be easier to
I always
understand.
forget simultaneously. I thought simultaneously meant like one after another.
That would be like alternating.
So it's going to be alternating.
Let's do it that way then.
All right.
Okay. Ready?
Idle Hands.
GoldenEye.
Final Destination.
From Russia with Love.
The music video Stan by Eminem.
The Rock.
Little Giants.
Big Boys.
SLC Punk.
Judy's Little Book of Naughties. 2. The second one.
Is that a real one?
I think the second one. I think he's in the second one.
That's actually a movie.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up in my spare time.
Well, pull up
'cause
the
I have not
IMDb app
heard
if you
of
don't.
this movie.
Well, do you think you've heard of every film?
Damn near close.
Oh, okay.
Damn near close.
So, but I think we've established that Sean Connery is no Devon Sawa.
Yeah, exactly.
You've proved your point.
And I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast yet, but I just want to give a little, let's say a little plug.
Oh, little plug.
Yeah, for a feature film coming out starring Devon Sawa and Bruce Campbell.
Ooh, when's that come out?
I really don't know. Couldn't tell you.
This summer.
You know what? If I had to guess, I would assume it's coming out 1 year from now. So
In 1 year.
This might be not the best plug because
The
it's called
grim.
Black Friday.
Oh, okay. So it probably is coming out sometime around Black Friday.
Oh, you're thinking that? I was thinking Easter.
Oh, you're thinking Ash Wednesday?
Yeah, I was thinking because the ash is black.
Right.
That
Okay, so you're thinking it was a Good Friday movie with a Thanksgiving theme?
Mhm.
Now that's a twist that no one has really done yet.
There's not enough Good Friday movies out there.
Friday was good.
Is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday
Next
after
Friday.
next. Yep. I like to list them out of order. I don't know about you.
And I can't think of one more movie with the title Friday in it. But
Mm-hmm.
in this feature film, which is a horror film,
Oh.
Devon Sawa returned to his roots.
Mhm.
Devon Sawa, in fact, rides a Fancy Lad skateboard
Oh, boy.
and uses it as a weapon in the film.
Oh, well, that just sounds tasty.
And now he is the proud owner of that Fancy Lad skateboard.
Oh, man.
8-inch cats feeding board now available on the Fancy Lad online store.
Oh, 8-inch cats feeding board?
You too can ride the same board as all-star celebrity
Bono?
top A actor Devon Sawa.
What else could you want?
I really don't know. I mean, how many other people do you know have been in the same movie as Rick Moranis?
Personally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thought you were going to say, because I was...
That ride a Fancy Lad skateboard.
Oh, wow.
Currently.
Yeesh. That really narrows it down.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
He's
maybe-
just one.
Oh, maybe my Uncle Bill.
Was he in a movie with Rick Moranis?
Yeah.
Which movie?
Ghostbusters?
Oh, really? Who did he play?
Uncle Bill Murray?
Oh, your Uncle Bill Murray. I'm stupid. That's
yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, okay.
That's my bad.
He was one of the main characters.
Oh, that's my great great aunt was also in Ghostbusters.
What was her name?
She didn't have a name in it, but she was a ghost. She had a scene with Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they really cast a ghost for that scene.
Oh yeah.
That is,
Kinky.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did they cast ghosts for that entire movie?
Not the entire movie, but all the ghost parts. Yeah.
Because that's a lot of ghosts.
I think all the living human parts were mostly played by living humans.
Right.
You know, maybe a few like ghosts like stacked on top of each other in a trench coat, like passing off as a real human as an extra.
Could have been a ghost inside a cadaver.
Oh yeah, that's
inhabiting
true.
the body.
That's true. They do like to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, can't blame them.
That taxi scene, though. Ooh, I don't know where they found that ghost, but hire that guy again. That was a great scene.
Get that ghost back. You think he's still alive?
The ghost? No, I think he's dead.
Oh yeah. I mean, that makes sense. You think he's still dead?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that how that works?
I don't know. I'm not a
Presumably.
ghost scientist,
Okay,
all right?
Yeah, that's true. You're not a ghost scientist.
We're going to have to get one on the podcast. I keep saying that.
It's harder to book ghost scientists than you would expect these days.
Have you been checking LinkedIn?
I've been checking LinkedIn. I go to John Edwards' LinkedIn because he's the top ghost scientist in as far as I know.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the medium, John Edwards. I'm talking about the politician. And I go there and I see if he has any, try to network through there. Haven't gotten a single response. Damn it. I know.
Damn it.
They've all been ghosting me,
Okay.
as he'd say.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah. Oh.
I know that. That makes a lot of sense now.
Mhm.
Well, let me just say I got big news, and I can't hold it in any longer.
Is it big news because the news is large in size, or because it's exciting, or because it's news specifically about you, Big Zo?
Let's see. It is about Big Zo.
Okay. 1.
It is exciting.
Okay. That's 2.
And yeah, I would say it's pretty large as well.
So this is big, big, big news.
Yeah.
Damn. B cubed.
Your pants are securely fastened to your ass, right?
Oh, yeah, don't you worry.
Because I don't want to see that thing blow out when I tell you what I'm about to tell you.
And that's what always happens when I hear exciting news.
Yeah.
All right,
So
I'm holding on.
So you're familiar with the Fancy Lad podcast?
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so if for those at home who haven't heard of the Fancy Lad podcast, two idiots get together.
Oh, God, they're dumb.
They drink a lot of beer.
Clontry's brand beer.
Yep. They make a lot of dick jokes. Occasionally they'll talk about skating. And they happen to talk a lot about the Fancy Lad van.
Oh, yeah. Quite a bit.
Yeah. And yesterday, a fan reached out to me and said, I happened to just win a large amount of money gambling. How much would it take to fix your Fancy Lad van? And I told him, I'm not really too sure. And he said he just wanted to do something good with the money. And he said, well, what if I sent you $5,000 right now?
And you tell him no?
I told him no. I said, you know what, buddy? I don't need your charity. And another thing, you can fucking take that $5,000, put it all into singles, and stick it up your goddamn ass.
Interesting. Now, that's not the approach I would have taken.
You son of a bitch.
Okay, well, yeah, that's more in line with it.
Oh, what was the approach that you would take?
Listen, you son of a bitch, you can take those all in singles. Let's stick them down your throat so they come out your ass.
So you would do more of a Jerry Seinfeld impersonation.
What? No.
It sounded like Seinfeld's in the room with us.
I know. That was kind of freaky. I was freaking myself out. So five bozos.
Yeah, and for those of you at home who aren't familiar with bozos, that means $1,000.
That is 1,000. That's 1,000 big ones.
So I don't think you're as in shock as I thought you would be over this news.
I'm trying to comprehend. So you got $5,000.
He sent me $5,000
That's crazy.
to fix the van.
That is insane. So you have $5,000 now.
Got $5,000. Got $5,000. Got $5,000.
That is sick. That
Yeah.
is very sick.
Yeah, that is.
This is kind of big news, so it is difficult to comprehend.
I feel like it's a Christmas miracle.
I mean, it could just be a holiday miracle.
It could be an Xmas miracle, let's say.
Could be an XXXmas miracle.
That's very possible.
That is super possible.
But I know this hasn't been done on the Fancy Lad podcast before. I think we should give him a call.
Give him old ring-a-ding.
Give him a ring-a-ding, because I want to thank him personally, and this person will remain nameless for their own safety, but I'm going to refer to him henceforth as Eminem, because that happens to be his initials.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I want to give him a call, thank him, and see, just talk real quick logistics with him to see if he really wants us to fix the van or if he wants us to buy a new van.
We got to figure this out.
That's what I'm saying.
And now, do I refer to him as Mr. Eminem or just Eminem?
Well, Mr. Eminem kind of tosses another M in there.
That's
so
true.
You'd have to start calling him Eminem.
Eminem. I wouldn't hate that.
Manamana.
Phenomena.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, well, let's give Eminem a call.
I think we should give Eminem a call.
Hello, this is Matt.
Hey, I've been referring to you as Eminem.
I've been referring to you as Mr. Eminem.
This is Big Zo and Tom Tweak here on the Fancy Lad podcast.
Hello.
For real?
Yeah, you're on the Fancy Lad podcast.
Holy crap.
Although if you try to listen to it right now on your podcast feed, it's not going to work because the episode isn't out yet, just in case you don't know how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been sitting on Spotify this whole time, just hitting the refresh key over and over again.
It's a waste of time, Mr. Eminem, I'm telling you.
Yeah, so Tom's been referring to you as Mr. Eminem. So when I talk about you, I have to refer to you as Eminem.
Okay. Honor and a privilege to be here.
The pleasure's all mine. I'm just trying to. I just wanted to say, even though we're not face to face,
Mhm.
in some sort of more personal way, thank you. I don't know what else to say. It's the most unbelievable thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, it really is a crazy thing, and we really do appreciate it quite a bit. It is hard to wrap our minds around almost.
And
my pleasure.
And I don't know. I mean, we'll edit this all out if you don't want to go into the logistics of it. But what was the game? What was the gambling game? Was it Keno?
No, believe it or not, it was a slot machine.
Whoa!
Wow,
Now I've heard it all.
that is crazy. A good old fashioned slot machine.
Yep.
Damn.
Tom here, he loves the sluts.
Yeah, right. But then you throw the extra boop on top and turn that U into an O. Not that interested.
I don't make it a habit to go to the casino, but every once in a while I find myself there. So got lucky this time, and I figured rather not have that money just sitting in my bank account where I'll just, I don't know. I was in a giving mood, so
Well,
been hearing over and over again on your podcast that your van's broken, so I thought, hey, it's a perfect chance to get you guys skating all around, all over the place.
well, you are an angel sent from God knows where.
Yeah, God would know, or maybe God. Who knows if God has anything to do with it?
But a gosh darn saint nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Saint Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm christening him right now.
They do exist.
I do exist. You know that old Eminem commercial, right?
Which one are you thinking?
The one where Santa
no.
Claus pops in and he sees
Yep.
the two M&Ms, and the M&Ms look at him and they go, "Oh my God, he does exist."
And then he goes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
do exist.
You see, I always thought growing up that Santa said, "I do exist," and then he fainted.
He was having an existential crisis.
because he was so blown away by the fact that he was Santa Claus.
That's a very, very heavy candy commercial. Especially for like a holiday. Whoa.
Yeah. Matt,
I'm sorry. This is crazy. I was literally just listening to your podcast like 5 minutes ago. So.
Oh yeah,
sorry
which
if I keep laughing.
which ep were you listening to?
The Wedgwood.
Wow.
That's by
Wedgwood.
far my favorite.
That-
I've probably listened to that 20 to 30 times.
that is
Wow.
a deep cut.
It is my favorite episode by far. It's
Wow.
big. Your Bill Burr impersonation. First time I heard that, it was I had to stop my work truck on the side of the highway because I was laughing so freaking hard.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to run that one back sometime.
That is funny. We'll tell that piece of shit Wedgwood that you liked his episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what's that joke you had? Oh, I thought you said you wanted Corona. I didn't know you meant the beer, man.
Yeah.
You're like, woo!
That
I don't know
is.
what it is about that, but every time I hear it, I laugh so hard.
Yeah.
It's,
I haven't been going for the intentional bad jokes as of recently. They've all just been unintentional.
Yeah, I know. He's really just been covering so much ground with the unintentional ones that he hasn't needed to.
Well, Eminem, which is weird because you're also from a very close area to the actual Eminem.
Mhm.
When we get the van fixed, first place we're going to go is drive out to you
After the gas station.
Okay.
after the gas station.
Mhm.
And who knows, maybe we'll pop an 8 Mile or something.
Okay. Well, yeah, you probably don't want to go directly to me because it's in the middle of rural Michigan. There's probably not a lot of spots unless you like skating on dirt.
We do like skating on dirt.
We love dirt.
We can't get enough dirt. Every time Tom sees some dirt, he starts putting it in his mouth.
I go, give me more dirt. Yum, 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 yum.
Yeah.
And me, as you might know from the podcast, I love Joe,
Joe
Dirt.
Dirt, yeah, of course. There's something about you when you look at Big Zo, it just screams, "I love Joe Dirt."
Mm-hmm. So this is the last thing that I just wanted to ask you. And, you know, it's weird that I saved it for on air, but now you sent the money specifically because you want us to keep the Fancy Lad van alive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's there for you to use however you want. Honestly, I just figured you needed a ride, so there's some money for a ride if you want to fix it, if you want to, I don't know, buy a new one or whatever.
Excellent. Because I talked to my mechanic friend, and this is what he suggested. He told me this is what he recommended, me taking it to an actual Dodge dealership and having them analyze it and what's wrong with it. And then tell me, because if it is something and they try to fix it, then if they don't fix it, it'll be covered under warranty. But so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it, see what they say, and then judging upon that, either try to fix it, which I might because it is my baby. And you don't just, you know, when you have a child, you don't just throw it in the garbage.
Oh.
You don't just throw it in a scrap pile and just go pick up another one, you know?
I've been doing this wrong?
Tom, why are you sweating so much right now?
God, I mean, I don't know. I think did you turn up the heat in here?
No, the heat's off, and so are all the lights.
Yeah, take off my long johns.
Yeah, dude, you're not wearing anything under those.
Oh God, that's just my skin. Why is it so soggy?
Malleable.
Oh, it is very malleable.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It almost looks like you're wearing pajamas, but it's just your
I'm
skin.
just gonna leave that for now.
Yeah, you should get some like safety pins or something, clip that together.
Oh, that's gonna look punk as fuck.
Yeah,
That is cool.
that is
That
going
is
to be a pretty
fucking
good
sick.
look.
Oh my God, this is unreal.
So it's a one of a kind. This whole thing has restored my faith in the human race. There you go.
Oh yeah.
This whole occurrence.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, everybody needs a helping hand every once in a while, and I don't know. It's really just as simple as that. I don't know. I don't really know what to say either.
It must be just because it must have been something to do with the dawning of the age of Aquarius too.
It had to be.
It had to be.
Those planets aligning.
It was in the stars.
Oh man.
The stars know best.
Those damn planet stars.
We're talking Sean Connery. We're talking Devon Sawa.
We're talking David Duchovny.
Mm-hmm. Star of Californication.
Oh my goodness! Don't get me started on Californication. Flea.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Anthony Nedix.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Oh yeah, Anthony Nedix. I'm assuming if Anthony Nedix was there, then Stanley Pudix.
You know Stanley Pudix.
He's
there.
right behind him. You
Right behind him.
you know what I'm saying
In
about
the dune buggy, right?
about the Pudik. He's
They're trying
right
to
behind
They're
him.
trying to do their own version of Stop Making Sense, and they got Stanley Pudix.
Yeah, to direct it.
Yeah, to direct it. Didn't work out though.
And
And
Anthony Nedix is all like, and there's Flea. There's Flea. He's slapping the bass. He's slapping it.
He's also only wearing a sock.
Yeah, well, you know what the Red Hot Chili Brothers
You
are
know what they
like.
look like.
You know what they look
I
like.
don't know why we're telling you. You're Eminem.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
crazy. We
my God.
we talked about Devon Sawa, the titular Stan, and now we have titular Eminem on the podcast.
Oh my God, how did I not even put that together?
This is what it's like when worlds collide. Oh my God, it really is what it's like.
Well, Eminem, thanks again.
Thanks a million.
Mark my words. We are going to load up a van
Oh yeah,
and we are going to hightail it over there. You like Monopoly?
Yeah.
There you go.
there we go.
There
We're
you
playing
go.
Monopoly.
We're playing Monopoly.
All right. Yeah, I'll try and learn how to skateboard a little bit before you guys get here.
Just worry about the Monopoly.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, don't worry. You can be our personal filmer while we're out there.
Okay.
We'll put
Sounds
you.
good.
We'll put you to work.
It'd be an honor.
Well, thanks again, and you know what? I'll be in touch.
All right.
And I hope you
good.
have a great, great holiday, great rest of the year, and an even better 2021.
Oh, yeah, 2021. Here we come.
Well, I hope we all have a better 2021.
That would be nice.
I agree.
All right, well, Eminem, again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, guys.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. I am so sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say you're welcome back on the podcast anytime, but what were you going to say?
No, I was finished.
Oh, perfect.
It's just Tom put in an edit point there to cut that out.
All right, Tom?
All right, here we go. Just edit point here.
All right.
All right, perfect.
All right, he put in the point.
Don't worry, no one's ever going to hear the light of day of that, so, or something.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, thanks again, bud.
Yeah, it's
All
great
right.
talking to
Have
you.
a good one, guys.
Have a good one. Well, there you have it. Miracles do exist.
They do, and the Miracle Man, Mr. Eminem himself, does exist.
It's true. And, before we bring on our very special guest, I think that we should take a quick break and maybe
Count our blessings.
Count our blessings, but maybe even grab, I don't know, a Clown Shoes brand beer, which is one of my blessings that I was going to count anyway. So I was just going to start with that.
Yeah, let's go grab some.
All right, sounds great.
Yeah.
After a long week of work, I like to relax by trimming my bonsai tree. And when that starts to really piss me off, I crack open an ice-cold Clown Shoes brand Zen Garden New England India Pale Ale. Nothing helps realign my chakras like the full-bodied hazy flavor of a Clown Shoes brand Zen Garden IPA. And nothing helps me focus on my bonsai garden. I nicked my... Nothing helps me focus more than a Clown Shoes brand Zen Garden IPA. The combination of wheat and oat in a malt bill, plus a steady stream of hop additions, makes for... God. No, this is bad. Oh my God, it's bleeding so much. Oh my God, I think my blood's really thin because of the 7% IPAs I've been drinking. Yeah, call my mom. Please call my mom. To find out more about Clown Shoes beer and where you can get it, visit www.clownshoesbeer.com.
Yeah.
And we are back.
Oh, we are back. And, oh, man, that was such a good break.
It's one of those breaks you dream about.
Oh, man, I've been dreaming about breaks quite a bit recently.
Yeah, you've been telling me.
I know, and I just can't stop. It's one of those things, reoccurring dreams. I can't book a psychologist? I can't book any of them right now.
Yeah. And I'm just dream envy because I can't remember my dreams personally, but something I've been dreaming about here.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, that sounds like a Clown Shoes brand beer.
Oh yeah, that's our sponsor right there, Clown Shoes brand beer. This is a Bubble Farm IPA.
Ooh, classic. Bubble Farm IPA. Gotta love that one. I actually grabbed a Clown Shoes brand beer myself.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I could tell by the sound. What kind is that?
Oh, this one? Yeah. Rainbows are real. Again.
Interesting. Interesting. And for those who don't know at home, Bubble Farm IPA, also referred to as Bub Daddies.
Got a couple Bub Daddies. Yo, pick me up a 6 or a Bub Daddies.
But without further ado, let's introduce our very special guest.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick Nagy.
How's it going, guys?
Very good.
It's going well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I was very excited to hear about the Clown Shoes beer. I love Clown Shoes.
Really?
Where's that brewery from? Is that a Michigan brewery?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's from Boston.
Okay. There's a different one, kind of similar to that name, I think, out of Michigan. But Clown Shoes I have had before, and I do enjoy it quite a bit. I am one of those IPA connoisseur type guys.
So you appreciate the craft breweries?
I do. I mean, who doesn't like beer that actually tastes good?
Exactly.
There is something about it that is just so likable.
Do you remember what the exact kind of Clown Shoes it was?
I do not off the top of my head. I think I've had a couple different ones, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Out here in California, you don't find clown shoes too much out here right now, but hopefully soon.
Yeah, it's a small operation, but
Mhm.
you know, it's going to be tough for you because you're out there in California, but you'll be, I think, excited to hear that they are making a Fancy Lad Skateboards exclusive brand session IPA.
Oh, nice. I do
Yeah.
enjoy the session IPAs. I'm way into West Coast IPAs right now, which I don't know. They're a little bit more, I guess, like a dry type IPA, if I had to describe it as anything.
Yeah.
And one of the best things about IPAs is, I believe Jimmy Fallon said it once, it made my drinking into a hobby.
Yeah, I feel like it did for a lot of people. I feel like that was a big thing, like maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Everyone was like, oh, IPAs. And now everyone's like, now we can talk about, like, I had eight different beers last night. These are what I had. Now, instead of like being like, oh, wow, you drank a lot of IPAs last night, it's like, oh, you were exploring the different sections of your palate.
Right. Well, now we can be just as snotty as wine drinkers.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But still cooler.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, we all came up drinking probably junk beer or whatever. You know,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a big Miller guy if I'm going to be slumming it, one of those things. But once you get into the higher end stuff,
I had a
Yeah.
tough time during the meeting talking. I have a tough time talking about the profiles and the what ABV I wanted and all that stuff.
right?
So, it would have helped. It would have helped to have a
Like
beer,
a base
beer,
knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a beer snob like yourself, as I like to call
Oh
it.
yeah. Well, if you're in around the 60 or 70 range, you're probably going to have like a nice taste in beer. You get up to 90, it gets a little hoppy. You're getting a little rough up in there. It's still good, but you got to be ready for it.
Right.
Yeah, they got a lot of double IPAs, but enough about our fantastic sponsor, Clown Shoes Brand Beer, which we love so much.
Oh, man. We love drinking it.
Yep.
Oh, God, it's good.
Yeah, I just, I asked you to be on because I'm a huge fan of Black Label skateboards,
Mhm.
and you seem to be an integral part of the brand, at least from one of my favorite videos of all time, Label Kills, which you have editing credit on. And yeah, I guess I just want to ask how you just got to start working for the brand and how long you were working for them, if you still do. I don't know. I don't know anything about you, really.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I always describe myself as the guy everybody in the industry knows, but they're not sure why they know me.
Mm-hmm.
Like at trade shows and stuff like that. I'd always be that guy where people go, "Hey," and that's pretty much you just get "Hey" because they don't really know my name. I'm just,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
that guy.
that guy. It's the Black Label guy. I'm always the Black Label guy, or Lucero's other half of his brain.
Mm-hmm.
Go with that, whatever logic. I started out. I mean, back in the 1900s, I was doing little skateboarding videos and things like that. And then I did this video magazine called Progression, which I don't know if anybody remembers.
Right.
It was kind of like a poor man's 4-on-1.
Yeah.
Kind
Kind of like Logic.
yeah, Logic and
Was
digital.
right.
There was an issue of Progression that had a fake dummy slam in it, right?
I don't know. I mean, if it did, it probably had Josh Casper or something involved with it. I'm not sure.
It was like the classic, like, put a what do you call those things in the windows that wear clothes with that
Mannequin.
Yeah, Mannequin. They made a movie out of it called Mannequin.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
It was a classic, put a mannequin on a skateboard and toss it down a gap sort of thing.
I don't know they might have done that after I left because they were still making them after I left.
I'm gonna have to-
Well, basically in like 2000, I ended up selling an ad to John Lucero from Black Label, and he gave me a call one day, and I thought he was going to ask me about the ad, and he asked me about making a video for him because one of my best friends growing up is this guy Jub. I don't know if you remember Jub.
Oh, do we remember Jub?
Of course,
Yeah.
you know, I want to talk about all the riders from Label Kills.
Oh,
Jub,
my God, Jub.
So
You
Jub
mean-
and I, we knew each other since children, like back in Michigan. Well, I'm from just outside of Flint, Michigan, born and
Mhm.
raised. You might notice the Detroit
Michigan.
versus
What is it with this? Everyone we have on the podcast is from Michigan.
well, you don't know this, but we just were talking to somebody in the intro
Mm-hmm.
that we had never met before.
Fan of the podcast.
Fan of the podcast from Michigan.
Oh, yeah?
And this,
Person who will remain nameless, but we will call them Eminem.
yep, this benevolent creature
Mhm.
won, I don't know how much money gambling at a slot machine and decided to donate. We've been having a lot of van trouble and haven't been able to tour at all. Also COVID, but
Mhm.
you know, and decided to donate a large amount of money to help us fix or get another van. So, yell exit Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of us Michiganders out there. We tend to migrate, you know, harsh winters and everything like that. Especially the California dream. I always wanted to get out of there. That's for sure. So I moved out here in '94, and I've been here ever since.
Oh, damn.
So you and Jub,
Well, I made Jeb's
Best buds.
video that he gave to a rep for Giant Distribution, the Black Label was with at the time,
mhm,
and I was definitely a jerk about it because I remember him going, "Oh, I gave my tape to the guy for Black Label," and I think I said at the time, "You're not going to get on Black Label. That's crazy." You know, Black Label at that time was really picking up. They just got like Matt Hensley and Salman Agha and all these guys, all these classic guys, and Mike V was on there. And,
yeah,
you know, I knew Jub since he was a kid. So even though I knew he was rad, you still get that friend thing going, you know, that's for pros.
Right.
You're my friend,
yeah.
you know? So, but,
Did the Jub sponsor me tape? Did it have a Jub drop in it?
I'm sure it did. I mean, he was always doing that. It
I
was,
love that.
he thought that was easy. He thought it was stupid. Like every time we put that in a video, he goes, that's dumb. Anybody can do that. I'm like, nobody else is doing that. I mean, I'm not doing it.
No, I mean, anyone can do it, but no one can do it off of a 2-story building.
Yeah, well, there was like this one spot. It was off the back of a Costco, and you go off the roof onto a storage shed. Then you had to go off the storage shed. The storage shed from the roof was not that high. I could do that gap, but I would always stop before the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always like, "Yeah, just ride off it. It's no problem. All you do is fall." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's really high and it hurts a lot." Like, so I'm not gonna do that. But he always did that stuff. But it turns out the sponsor me tape, it was a VHS tape, and I think there was a glitch in it, like a digital, just like static.
Mhm.
And John saw that and liked the video. He thought like that was something I did on purpose. So he's like, "Hey, this is my John impression. Hey, can you do that static thing that you did on his video?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I can do that." You know, I'm totally lying. I don't even know what
Yeah.
he's talking about. I'm like, "Yeah, dude, totally." He's like, "Oh, that's cool, man." So, yeah, they brought me on to film and edit Label Kills, you know, 20 years ago. And that was it. I just started working there full time and doing. I was just the filmer, and then after a while, he's like, "Hey, can you do graphics?" I'm like, "I don't know, I guess." And then I started doing graphics, and then, "Hey, can you do a website?" And I guess, you know. So then I kind of became, you know, like, you know, in skateboarding, there's no money, not that much.
Yeah,
You kind of gotta do everything.
right.
So I became like the resident computer nerd that could do whatever you needed done.
But back to the glitch real quick. Do you think that glitch was kind of like, I heard Christian Svitek in his Sponsor Me video, he has that clip of him 50-50ing into that wall.
Right.
And I heard John Lucero, that's why they sponsored him, was because he liked that one clip. Do you think that was the thing? He was like, you guys have the punk credibility with that glitch right there.
Right. No, I mean, I would absolutely agree that's most likely what John liked the most out of Svitek's Sponsor Me tape, because I think that clip was from I think that was actually used in a different video for Invisible or something like that. Maybe. And John saw that and he's like, oh, we got to put that in the video. And then it was in the industry section for Black Label in a 4-on-1. He's like, well, we got to put it in Label Kills too. John loved that clip.
Yeah. I don't think Invisible was still a company at that time. Laban's company?
It might not have been, but I mean, John loved that clip. He really loves VTech falling on his face and busting his teeth out.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely loved Jub's big, the one that we filmed for Label Kills, where he rides off and just does a death drop
and
kind of lands between
avoids
the
dinosaur eggs there, as I call them.
Yeah, he loved the hell out of that one. We used to drive around during lunch, and he'd always point to the rooftops. Go, you think Jub could do that? You think you could ride off of that thing?
Yeah.
He just point out random things, which now you see kids in videos, you're like, oh, they're really doing that.
That Jub drop was filmed really well. Did you film that?
I did not film that one. That was on an amateur trip that I didn't go on. That was filmed by Ricky Biedenbaugh, a.k.a. The Dude. And
because he loved his White Russians.
I'm not sure if that's why, but Ricky's been around for a long time. And I'm trying to remember who filmed the other angle. Melcher might have filmed one of the other angles, actually. And I think Joe Brooks shot the photos of it. Another Michigan guy.
So you actually did that glitch was actually because a lot of the editing in the video, it's a one-of-a-kind looking video because of all of the like film flutters, and you do have like the like sort of like static television. So that was directly like you edited that because of that, right? It was a direct correlation.
Yeah, I mean it was John. John definitely was hands-on with the direction. Like he knew what he wanted to see, and he's like, "Oh, I like all that stuff. I like, film-looking stuff, and I like VHS glitches and doing all that." And we spent like a good 4 months editing that thing. Like, I mean, I was living at the warehouse at the time. I was basically homeless, so I was living in this little spot upstairs called the Crack Shack, and wake up and work all day and go to sleep. Cold warehouse.
The Crack Shack, huh?
Yeah.
See, that's funny because Abe has a one-man tent that he calls the Whack Shack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
I think it might be for different reasons, though.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know. The Crack Shack looked like it could be used for that same reason, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, growing up, it was really weird. For some reason, I would always skate this local prefab park, and my friend Punk Rock Sam had these 2 videos that I'd go over his house and watch every day, and one of them was Label Kills, the other one was Photosynthesis.
Oh, nice.
Which is very polar opposite when you think about those 2 videos. But the Label Kills video, like you were mentioning with Jub, what I still love to this day is the fact that it has all of those. It just seems like besides the pros in that video, it is such a ragtag group of hometown heroes that are just have this hard-headed skating, and it has just like there's so much character in Jub skating and Ben Gilly. Ben Gilly's still, I've mentioned, one of my favorite handrail skaters, just because he seems like it's all heart.
Well, he is odd in the sense that, like, he changed while that was going on. His first Blasphemy videos, he rode at rails really slow, but like, and he would come up on them slow, and he could just get on them, and he had this weird style where he'd like climb on it almost, like
that Ender that he has.
Yeah,
that's his Ender, where he just gets on at the tippy top,
right?
Just takes the whole thing.
That was like the first box John sent him. He sent back a video clip, 2 angles of him 50-50 in a 20 stair handrail, which you're like, wow, that's something else, but he told me one time, he goes, oh, I like 14 stairs and up because I think smaller rails are scary. I'm like, well, that's like the opposite of normal
logic.
Yeah. But when he would get on rails, even if he slammed, he would like tackle the rail. I mean, like I almost felt bad for the railing because he was like, he used to be a backyard wrestler. Like,
really?
He was, like, coming up in skateboarding, he would be like, seriously, the dude out there with the trash cans and all that crazy stuff. So he would literally tackle handrails.
Yeah, we have
he started bashing himself in the head, and then filmers started getting really nervous around him.
Yeah. Was that always like normal thing for him?
The
Like
bash himself in the head thing?
yeah, was that like a once every like so often where he really had to get worked up, or is every sesh he's hitting himself in the head with a skateboard?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if he did that when he was younger, but it didn't come out for a while on Black Label. And then on one trip, he was really frustrated. You might actually see the first one in his intro in Label Kills when he falls on the wall and
Yep.
gets up and he's just like boom, slams it, and everybody around like they were like, oh, but you all right, dude? Like what's going on? You know, because that was
Yeah.
very dramatic and sudden. It was nobody saw it coming, that's for sure. And then after that, I guess that was just his thing. It was like his hockey temper, kind of like, you know, I'm gonna take it out on my own forehead.
It's a weird I guess there's some sort of weird connection between wrestling and skating, because we happen to know a skater who became a professional wrestler.
Right. Yeah, Darby Allin.
Yeah, Yell Exit.
Yell Exit Darby Allin.
And then, of course, you have the Mike V
Oh,
Right.
yeah, the Mike V.
with his
Which
professional wrestling.
John actually built special skateboards for those. They were hollowed out, so when
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
they would explode on them.
See, I knew wrestling was fake,
No.
Tom.
Dude, but it's,
Oh,
but
no,
it's
man,
real
sorry,
heart.
I hope I didn't blow anything for anybody. You know, like, oh, dang it. No, it's all real. It's all real, guys.
Yeah. The this is one of my favorite editing moments. Well, you mentioned when Ben Gillies hitting his head and he steps on his board, freeze frame, the Slayer song kicks in.
Mhm.
But going from the juxtaposition of going from the very light and like happy-go-lucky kind of sounding Matt Hensley song into that very dark Slayer Ben Gillies song, that must have been a conscious edit.
Yeah, because, you know, we were talking about it. I always like editing kind of like a song. Like I think about it like, yo, you know, you come out with some hits, and it's like you know, like if you're in a band, you want to come out a little, get everybody up, stuff like that. But then you got, you know, we're going to throw some ballads and some nice sweet stuff in there in the middle. And then at a certain point, you're like, all right, we're getting towards the end, so we got to start picking this thing up again, you know. I'm not saying that Hensley is like a mellow thing, because Hensley's one of my favorite skaters of all time, and
Right.
we got him to a Pogue song. It's legendary, but bring out a kid that nobody's ever heard of, and he's actually a monster.
Yeah.
That's exciting, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the Pogue song, you know, with the I think it has an accordion in it, right?
Yeah,
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if just because there's images of him playing an accordion, if I made that up in my head.
No, there definitely is. I mean, we kicked around the idea of using a Flogging Molly song, but then John's like, no, we got to use a Pogue song because it's different.
Got to keep it classic.
Yeah. I mean, John, like I said, John was very hands-on in that entire production. He definitely directed the entire thing.
Yeah. Was it Hensley's idea to get some pool footy? He's like, you know,
No,
I'm really good at billiards.
That's usually John. John will do things like he'll come to your house and he'll be like, hey, let's shoot this. And okay, you got to do a couple skateboard tricks. And then Hensley's like, you got like this little box over here, and he comes up with some weird idea and stuff like that, you know. Because Matt, you know, he doesn't skate a lot. He's a very busy guy. You know, he's always on tour and stuff like that. And even back then, the fact that we had a Matt Hensley part, there hadn't been a Matt Hensley part since an H Street video at that point.
Yeah. He had like the retirement Plan B video.
Right.
Yeah, that was 1993, so 7 years before.
Yeah.
Which 93 to 2000. It seems longer than 7 years, but it was 7 years before. And
the guy's a legend.
Yeah, a couple things in like a Duff's video in '95, but is the first time that was one of the coolest things about that video for me, because I grew up skating. You know, I started a little bit late. I started in 1990, but growing up skating through the '90s, and so that now I get to work with Salman Gah, Matt Hensley, Mike Valley, Wade Spire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's just all these legendary dudes that suddenly you're surrounded by. You know, Omar's there and all these guys, and you got the new guys coming up. You know, I got Jubb with me, so that's always great. Alfaro I've known since he was a toddler, because Progression kind of found him. in a weird way. And he was like the little wonder kid. And then Melcher out of Chicago and Pat Smith out of New York. It was a pretty eclectic crew, and it was a big crew, you know. Like, oh, we also had Wes Lott, who was like a local hometown kid, you know, that when he got on, he was listening to Minor Threat, little straight edge kid.
Yeah.
But he was pretty rad, real chomper.
Did you well, you know, let me just say one last thing about just the John Lucero's a genius for that even the Wade Spire, the trucking footage, the 18-wheelers.
Yeah.
And then the Ender hopping over it.
That was all me. I filmed all that.
Was that all your idea? The building?
No, we just kind of had the idea of like, John wasn't with me on that part. He's like, why don't you go up, stay with Wade? I went and stayed with Solomon out. He was at that point living out in the middle of nowhere. And I went and stayed with Wade, and he was living up kind of by Ripon Skate Park and all that in Northern California. And then we just got up in the morning, went out and filmed him getting in his truck, filmed him doing all this stuff. There's a lot of footage in this part I didn't film. I'm not going to name what famous photographer filmed it, but my God, that guy got some shaky hands. But the truck jump thing, we went to, Fox Motor Clothes.
Yeah.
Motorcycle racing.
Yep.
So Wade's always done motocross, and he's good friends with John Fox. So he's always been endorsed by Fox. And they're like, yeah, come on out, and we'll build you these ramps, and you can jump the truck. And, man, they built them so steep. Because you look at the mega ramp now and all that stuff, and people are jumping all sorts of things. But that kicker ramp was, like, straight up. And then the lander's just this platform over here. So
yeah, it's almost like a vert ramp.
Yeah, he's getting kicked so high over it. And he said it was so weird because every time he thought he was going to hit his truck. He's like, oh, I feel like I'm barely clearing it, all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, you are like 12 feet above the stacks. I mean, like, you're not going to hit it unless you kick your board down or something like that. I'm just worried about you crushing your knees on the other side, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it was pretty hectic, but it was a pretty fun thing to do. And then you got to be the cover of Big Brother magazine, so that was really cool.
I remember that. But also I guess this is such an iconic thing that at this point that I was just curious. I'm just so curious who comes up with all these ideas. But the Mike V pushing part.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an interesting part. Very either loved or hated. I've heard both sides. You know, some people really like it. Some people are like, that's the worst thing I ever saw because it's not your typical trick part.
Yeah, when it came out, I feel like I didn't fully appreciate it, but now I love it. Now I think it's a work of art.
Thank you. The story with that one is Mike was supposed to film for the video, and Mike is Mike. So Mike's always on tour, and I'm not talking like Black Label tours. Mike's on Mike V tours. Like he's always setting up his own stuff. He'll usually have camera guys, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then he breaks his foot, like on tour. I don't think he broke his leg. He broke like quite a few, like a couple of different bones in his foot. And he's in a cast and all that stuff. So he finally tells John, he's like, all right, I'm going to cut my cast off my leg and we're going to go film. And then John's like, well, you got to wait so we can film you cut the cast off. And we're going to put that in the part. And then they'll explain everything why you're not like hitting it crazy, you know, because your foot's broke. So we get out there, we go to his house, and Mike's like, oh, I already cut the cast off. And John's like, well, that was the concept. We were going to film you do that, so now people would know why. And he's like, forget about it. So if you look at his ankle, he's got like a little wrap on it or something like that. There's this, like, tapes up 1 foot. And we go out, we film for 3 days around downtown LA, going through the Garment districts. We tried to go through some of the bigger areas, like right by Staples Center and stuff like that. But the streets are so big that with a fisheye lens, it looks like you're kind of out in the open. We wanted everything to feel really enclosed. So we were going through like the tightest streets we could find. I'm on like a filmer board with the big softy wheels. I'm pushing for my life. And that dude, you just can't keep up with him, man. He is a machine. I mean, I'm probably I mean, I'm older now, but I mean, I'm probably like a good 7 years younger than Mike or something like that. And he was whooping my ass. I was like 25 years old at that point. And I'm falling behind. I got hit by a car. Like one bumped me in the butt and knocked me right off the board and into the sidewalk. And
while filming his part.
Yeah.
Wow.
We didn't put that in. We go by a bus, and I just like take the camera and swipe the bus side with it. I told him, I'm like, you go wherever you're going to go, and even if we get hit in traffic, I'll be right behind you. I just put my head down and kept pushing. I didn't think about it. And what was cool about that, the couple things in that part happened by accident. There's one shot, I don't know if you remember it. We're going down an alley. A guy sets down a trash can, just a little plastic trash can. Mike ollies it, and we keep going. That just happened. We didn't know that guy. It wasn't set up. Like, we're just coming through, and this guy sees us and just sets down the trash can for him. Like clears it, and we just keep trucking. We never went back and talked to him or nothing. Just gone.
Yeah.
And then there's another shot where I got ahead of him, and he just kicks his board out at me, and his board comes spinning up towards the camera, and then he catches up to it and keeps going. None of that was planned.
I was going to mention that trick. We call the bottle cap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Classic
like
bottle
that.
cap.
And we love that trick. That was actually, I remember that being one of my favorites, and I remember kids doing that trick at the skate park because of that part.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, I could not film that again that way if I wanted to. I mean, it was just worked out perfectly that I got ahead of him, and the board slides up to the lens and then goes back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was still moving away from him, so it was just happy accident. And then on the third day, I'm so whooped I can barely move, and I'm like, dude, can we just like keep it to these little spots? And that's when he started doing tricks.
Mm-hmm.
But he still has a broken foot the entire time.
So was that 3 days of pure pushing that you were filming?
Yep.
Wow.
3 full days.
What I wouldn't give to see those raw tapes.
John's got all the tapes.
All right. I don't know John at all, but I'm going to try to reach out to him and get him to release those tapes.
Yeah, release those tapes.
John's got all the tapes, and I got all the drives.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
So did Mike come up with the idea of just pushing? Because I didn't know if it was inspired by the song, because it works so good with the song.
Yeah, that was kind of Mike's idea. It was like something they came up with together because Mike had a broken foot, and then we were going to do a different song, and then when we got in his car the first day, he's like, we got to play this song. And he had that song. He's like, this Rollins song. Went, okay,
Yeah.
And we went out before he broke his foot, we filmed the Baldy stuff. And that was like the intro, Mount Baldy, full pipe stuff.
Set to Kiss.
Yeah.
My favorite Kiss song.
Yeah, God of Thunder. And at that point, I remember I had like one of those huge hematomas in my arm. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
I was slamming into so many people at a skate park one time and just got all this blood built up in my arm, and I'm filming, and we're on that gap that he's gonna ollie over, and there was a piece of what am I thinking of? Like the stuff that's on the side of the road, not a guardrail. Yeah, kind of a guardrail, piece of guardrail, metal part just over the gap, and I'm balanced in the middle of that thing, holding on for dear life with the VX.
Mm-hmm.
And he ollies past me, and when we got done, I looked at my arm, and the whole thing shifted down to my hand. So like the blood just settled and went down to I had this huge Popeye hand.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And another thing, like Mike was so come and go. Like you had to be ready. His first line in that full pipe where he does the Miller flip at the end, and it looks like he skates into heaven. It's overexposed because I set the exposure for the inside the pipe. He wasn't supposed to do a trick out of the pipe. He was supposed to just ride down the pipe, and then at the end, we were going to change the exposure and get a couple tricks.
Mm-hmm.
He just did that Miller flip first try. And I'm like, can you do that again? He's like, we'll come back and get it later. We just never did. So,
well, it looks great. A happy accident.
Yeah.
You could say.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those in that.
Was this a video where the riders mainly chose the music, or was it mainly all Lucero and you?
It's mostly it's Lucero and me. There's a couple guys that picked out their stuff. I think Pat Smith picked his song Alternative Ulster. I'm not sure. I picked out Slayer for Gilly because I grew up a metal guy. I was a big Slayer fan, and we picked out a lot of it. Like,
What about Jub's Ministry song?
Jub picked that out, and
That's
there was
sick.
a little
Hell yeah,
bit
Jub.
of there was a little bit of controversy with that. 'Cause
Was
there-
Lucero just like, no, I can't do this industrial bullshit, man?
No. Maybe I shouldn't tell this story. I don't know. There was another guy in another video that used that song, and Jub ended up. He's like, I just really want to use it, so he used it,
Mm-hmm.
And then that guy got really mad at him for it.
Mm.
So,
And then years later, Ragdoll from Blackout reuses the Search and Destroy song in Pigwood and mentions that he's reusing it and doesn't care.
right, and almost all that footage was Black Label footage.
Oh, for the Pigwood video?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that was supposed to be his Back in Black part.
Interesting. That is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. I don't have the original stuff for some reason anymore, but I know Shark Attack has it. Grant Schubert, so he has everything that he filmed.
Mhm.
Grant was our in-house filmer for Blackout and Back in Black and Label Live, and he
Did-
filmed a lot of the Dwayne stuff too.
Yeah. Did Adams, the kid, Jason Adams,
The kid.
did he pick Devil Went Down to Georgia?
No, that was a Lucero pick.
That checks out.
And did you ever notice? Did you ever notice that the Ennio Morricone intro for Jason Adams is a lot like the Ennio Morricone intro for Jamie Thomas in Dying to Live?
I have noticed that. I've actually heard about. Actually, no, I was at that premiere, and I do remember going, I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah,
But then-
interesting.
It's also, and I totally blocked this out somehow. I was also at the premiere for Vita de Paco, the chocolate video.
Yeah.
They use that same part of that
Yeah.
song when they're walking across the crest, and I go, maybe I ripped someone off. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a great song, man. What can I tell you?
it
But
really is.
Jamie's was pretty similar. Walking down the road, I like to think maybe he just loved Jason Adams' part because
It
who
was
doesn't
like-
like the kid? He's lovable.
Yeah, it was like the same angle and everything. I was just like, we got to have the chief on the podcast now. The chef is.
Oh yeah, I was going to say. I don't know who you're talking about.
We need to have the chef on the podcast.
Now I
so
know
we
who
can
you're
address
talking
this.
about. Oh, you mean Jamie Thomas, the
Exactly,
chef himself.
The chef himself.
Oh man, I'd love to. We got to have him on here to whip up some of his famous dishes.
I know. One of his lobster bisques, you
Mhm.
know?
I think we refer to him as the Jamie Thomas.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Jamie Thomas.
Yes.
Yeah, the kids part, that's my favorite part in the video. It was the first time I had ever seen a Wally, and everyone my age mentions it's the first time they ever seen a Slappy. And it just, having those now seemingly rudimentary tricks
Mhm.
blew people's minds.
Yeah, they at that point. It was like, it's like, wow, that's a weird trick. I'm gonna try it, but it's like, oh, hey, you're doing that weird trick. You know,
Yeah.
still what
Yeah,
didn't
Slappies
seem.
are back. Slappies are back hard now, but at
Oh,
that
man.
time it was like you don't put that in a video.
No, yeah, Slappies are fully back with vengeance.
And the firecracker, he did a firecracker in there
Uh-huh.
down the stairway,
Yeah. Halfway nollie down the first set, firecracker down the second one.
which inspired Ragdoll and Blackout. Ragdoll saw that and he's like, I'm gonna do the gap to firecrackers.
Yeah, but your editing credit was for Label Kills, and did you have editing credit for Blackout? Did you have a
Yeah, I
big
did
part in
all
that
of
video? You
No,
did.
I did all of them.
Okay. Oh, you did Label Kills, Blackout, Back in Black, God Save the Label. Am I missing any?
Label Kills, Blackout, Back in Black, God Save the Label. Those are the main ones. I also did the Dwayne movie. Grant did the lion's share of the editing on Label Live, but I kind of finished that one up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did all the web videos over time, and I still do some videos for Label sometimes. Like I did a Jake Ruder part for the Barracks, and no, or was that? I did a Patrick Ryan part for Thrasher, Jake Ruder part for the Barracks, I think.
Yeah.
So I still do stuff from time to time. I still have a whole bunch of footage that nobody's ever seen and random stuff.
Yeah. Before we stop talking about Label Kills, I'm sorry. It's just, favorite video of all time.
It's a great video. People love it.
That
You didn't even mention Grasso. how great was it to have a Jeff Grosso part in there?
I know. Grosso with that American flag
Yeah,
in the intro and smoking those cigarettes.
That was a interesting night, getting Jeff to do that stuff. The shot, if you see it really quick, he's holding up a TV, and we really made him hold that while I'm trying to film the thing.
Oh yeah,
getting tired. He's like, "Can I put this damn TV down?"
I'm surprised he didn't have more personality footage, actually, just because he became such a personality.
He's got some in there. Usually when you put a camera on Jeff, he just starts smoking.
Yeah.
You know, there'd be always a lot of cigarettes going.
We know a guy like that.
When Jeff passed, I put up a post describing the scene where I got his first 540 on video, because he'd been trying 540s for years. He never got to put one down, even when he was a pro in the 80s. Just couldn't get it going. I mean, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
So
that's why I keep trying to tell Matt about myself. When we talk about skating, I say, you know, put a backpack with 100 pounds on and come skate the set and then come back and talk to me.
Right. I think Jeff always said, well, now try it with tits.
Yeah.
100-pound tits, you know?
But, yeah, we were at Vulcan one night, and we got done filming some other stuff, and John was there, but he left, and it was just me and Jub goofing around on whatever obstacles they had in the street course at the time. And then, like, Rune Glipper and Bucky Lassick and all those guys, like a bunch of heavy hitters showed up. And I started sessioning the old vert ramp there at Volcom. And Jeff just started skating again, started getting hyped. And I heard everybody scream. And I was look over, and they're like, "Oh my God, he almost pulled a 5," you know. And he started going for it. And I didn't want to spook him, so I didn't get the fisheye out or nothing. I just filmed it from across the place like a sniper. And that's what ended up in the video. So he was so thrilled to get his first and only McTwist, and I just, one of those things, happened to get it.
Awesome. Was that Neil Hendricks part, was that filmed in one day?
That was filmed over a weekend. That was actually all filmed by John Lucero. That was John's concept, and John filmed it. And I thought that was actually the finest filming job he ever did. Everything was in focus. The lens was clean. Because usually when John films something, you're going to get back something questionable. You know, like, is it going to look good?
Yeah.
Did you actually go through the steps, make sure the exposure was up so it's not too dark or too bright, you know, all this stuff. And that weekend he was on it, and he wanted to get it to look like an old school vert ramp in like a barn or something like that. So that was the skate park of Tampa, the spot.
Yeah.
He had Brian Schaefer build walls up the sides so you couldn't see the rest of the park.
Wow.
So they built walls up just for that part. And
That's
they
awesome.
filmed it. They had a scissor lift to put the walls up, and John actually got him to take out a section of the wall, bring the scissor lift in, and he filmed it from the center of the vert ramp on a scissor lift, and Neil had to do tricks around the scissor lift in the air, which is pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
It is pretty.
Some scenes he's up like on a chair up by the ceiling, holding onto a rafter, and that's the shots where he'd come up to the camera and then fall back.
Right.
It's
And
pretty intense.
that was still the classic ramp with the striped wood grain, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like in the bottom of the transitions were like darker than the rest.
Yeah. I guess there's just a few more people to mention. You know, I don't want to leave anybody out. But you got to see the transition of Adam Alfaro from AC/DC, young rocker, to
the youngest, most rockinest rocker.
Yep. To the hippied out Jimi Hendrix Adam Alfaro.
Yeah, you know.
Still a rocker.
When weed comes
Still a
in,
rocker.
it changes things, you know.
It was the weed, wasn't it?
When I first met Adam, he had that Orange County spiky hair that every kid had at that time out here, you know, just.
Oh, yeah.
just
Tom, he
spiked
loves
up.
the OC.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on season 1 of the OC.
And he had like the big baggy pants on and all that stuff like that. And he was a kid that could do all the flippy, slidey grind tricks. And but he was also like an assassin. Like, guys would try to keep him in the van. So, because they're like, "Hey man, can I get my lip slide down this rail before you come out and kickflip like 5-0 it or something?
Yeah.
Because you could just do that stuff on call. Just you would describe a trick to him and he'd do it for you.
Yeah.
And then at some point, the footage started changing. Like it was kind of in the middle of blackout. If you look at his Label Kills party, he looks like the spiky little kid, you know?
Mhm.
Or Label Kills, yeah. But on blackout, suddenly we're getting all this footage in, and his hair is getting a little bit longer, a little bit curlier, you know, starting to lengthen out. Pants are getting tighter, shirts are getting tighter and a little bit weirder. Like suddenly they say weird things like enjoy a Coke or something like that.
Yeah.
Still gnarly, but just totally different guy, totally different style.
Yeah. I haven't mentioned him yet, but this guy skated a lot of Boston spots, which caught my attention.
Mhm.
But Jim Gagne.
Jimmo, yeah.
I don't know much about Jim. Is he from Boston? The Boston area?
He's a Massachusetts guy for sure.
Represent.
Jimmo's interesting. He doesn't have like the classic Boston accent or nothing like that. Jimmo's like he's got a Jimmo accent. That's the only way I can describe it. Like one of the first times we ever met him, it's right when Jub got on the team, and he had a part coming out in a progression video. And this Jimmo's got the biggest heart out of anybody you'll ever meet. I mean, he's a sweet guy, but he'll always say the wrong thing or just be a raucous dude, you know, like I remember Jub shows him his part and he's so like nervous about what Jim was going to say, and Alfaro had a part in the same video, and Jimmo just stands up, grabs a cigarette and goes, "Sucks you're in a video with that guy, huh?" and walks out to smoke a cigarette. And like Jub's just crushed, you know, but
Yeah.
But Jimmo, he's always been like that. I used to be his neighbor, and he would come by, and he's like, "Hey, I bought 2 steaks. You're all about it." And he would cook it and then just throw it on the table for you. So it's like, you have a steak now.
Mhm.
Or one time he made Thanksgiving, cooked and slaved all day in the kitchen, and at the very end he goes, "Come get it yourself. I'm not your slave." You know, like, and you're like, all right. You know, you didn't ask him to do any of it, but that's just the way he is.
Yeah.
I still see him every once in a while. I mean, with the lockdown, it's been hard because we've been seriously in my house since March.
Is he still nollie flipping and tray flipping into bowls?
If you give him one, I'm sure he will. I mean, Jim's that guy that he can skate just as hard now, even if he hasn't done it in a year. You know, like he works full time. He does laminate flooring and stuff like that. He's got his kids, and he's a good dad, does all that. But then when he gets on a board, he's like, "I'm just gonna go out, take it easy." But then he's trying to like gap nose blunt things and
Yeah.
you know, putting himself through a wall. You're like, what happened to take it easy? And I guess that is easy for him.
The other thing about that part is he broke a lot of boards in that part.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
Yeah. He broke
watching
everyone he
that.
gave him.
Yeah, I remember watching that with my friends, and my friends being like, "I'm not buying a Black Label board." How easily they break.
Yeah, well, that was always the thing. It's like, especially around that time, Giant had a policy that everybody got 2 boxes a month, and every box you get between 5 and 10 boards.
Yeah.
So Jimmo would go through all of them. Neil Hendricks had boards for like to last him for years because he's setting up a board. He's skating vert. He's setting
Right.
up a board like every few months or something like that.
Yeah.
Jason Adams at that point, he's like, "I think I'm gonna open up a skate shop out of my garage or something." I got so much stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jimmo, he broke everything. Zvitek was the opposite because Zvitek wouldn't set up new boards. Like Zvitek he's
punk.
got this thing about him.
Yeah.
Like he skates a board till it's broken.
Mm-hmm.
So the nose and the tail could be totally chipped off, but until that board breaks in half, he's not gonna stop. He's not gonna take it apart.
Yeah, and that Svitek part is something else.
Yeah, he's gnarly. You know, he had the gnarliness.
One of my favorite quotes in a video of all time. Fuck this video, which, you know, we kind of have quoted for years. But
Was it "fuck you, fuck this video"?
yeah,
And then we put it to a Mozart song because
Yep.
we thought it was hilarious. Like,
it was.
got to be all slow mo and you just losing your mind.
And
which
that
he never
slam.
saw until the premiere.
Yeah. And that slam where his legs go into the middle of the handrail
Oh,
may
yeah.
never have happened again before or after that.
Yeah.
If you look at that shot, that's a short-haired young me next to him doing, you know. And I think Jub filmed the long lens on that one. Yeah, that was just like long but low rail, like kind of by our house where we lived at the time, and I was too afraid to try anything down it because I'm a big wuss. But Svitek's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go for it, and just bodied.
And Matt Tomasello skates for the company. He used to skate for 1031.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
he was telling me that Svitek mentioned that he got like $50,000 for being in that video,
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
which is crazy because you can't
money-
make money off a video nowadays.
Money was rolling back then. It was different times. I mean, we sold, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of copies of that video.
Yeah.
And it was only on VHS. It didn't come out on DVD because nobody had DVD at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the next video on Blackout, we were supposedly the first skate video ever to put out the DVD and the VHS at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cared. I remember Giants like, we gotta, because I'm like, oh, we'll put out the VHS, and I got like a month to get all the bonus stuff together. Because remember back then the DVDs, you had to have all the bonus stuff.
Right.
Like, no, we're gonna be the first ones to put them out at the same time, which made my job way harder.
Right.
Comes out, I never heard a word about it. Nobody gave a crap.
Tom, I'm gonna have to take a quick break, real quick. So I don't know if you want to take another commercial break or if you want to keep rolling it.
Oh, you gotta go take a piss.
I
Oh,
have
well,
to.
you know what? First, I'll explain to our guests what's
Yeah, you
going
should.
on. So this happens every episode. Big Zone needs to go take a piss. I don't know what exactly it is. Maybe his bladder is small. Maybe he's drinking too much. I don't know. You know,
Could be. You know, that stuff catches up on you sooner or later.
It could be either. But, you know, while we have him out of the room, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Earlier we mentioned Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, so you're from Detroit. And I know Kiss is not from Detroit.
No,
But-
New York fan.
But do you have an allegiance to Kiss because of Detroit Rock City, or do you like Kiss, or what's the deal?
You know, I was born in '75,
Mhm.
and I have an older brother who's
Yep.
just 2 years older. But you know, when we were kids, man, we wanted to be Kiss. You know, it was like back then. You're a toddler and you see these guys all painted up, all crazy and stuff like that. And they're playing rock music, and
Yeah.
we got the vinyl, we got the albums, and I was Gene Simmons for Halloween one year. My brother was Ace Frehley. You know, we were doing it. We were hyped. And then John's funny because John is like, he was a young up and coming skater at that point.
Mhm.
And back then he was way more into like punk and, you know, Devo, things like that, Sex Pistols, Devo.
Right.
He didn't like a lot of that stuff, but when he got older, he was like, I like that stuff. You know, I like Kiss. We used to go to this place all the time called the Big Belly Deli. We're like, we're going to go there for one meatball sub and one pitcher. And cut to 5 hours later, we got Journey on the jukebox and we're rip roaring drunk and getting crazy, you know. John doesn't actually drink anymore either. He gave up drinking probably about 5 years ago.
Well, good for him. But
Yeah. He said he didn't feel like it anymore.
well, that's a good reason to give up then, I guess. I mean, that's a better reason than, well, not necessarily a better reason, but that's like a good case scenario that you just don't feel like it anymore, you know?
Yeah. And he never is like, oh, I don't look down on anybody that wants to drink. He's like, yeah, I might have a beer here and there sometime in the future. Just right now, I don't want to. I'm like,
Right.
okay. Which is weird because for years, there were some rough Black Label days, I tell you that. And as we mentioned earlier, the money was flowing back then. So
Yeah.
trade show parties, tours, things like that. You know, it gets pretty crazy sometimes.
Was the majority of the team, did they like to drink or party? Or I imagine there was some straight edge dudes on the team.
Yeah, Jub's straight edge, always been straight edge, never partaken in anything. Melcher was straight edge.
Mhm.
Wes Lott was at the time, but didn't become later. But that happens.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of guys on the team drank. I know Mike V didn't really drink. He might have had like a little moment here or there, but not really. Mike's not really a drinker.
Yeah.
Zvitek's not really a drinker. I don't think Zvitek drank at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I think
he
I saw him
does
have
drink.
one sip of a beer in Japan once, and it was like Salmon's beer or something. But everybody else, it's just skateboarding stuff. Nothing serious. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. I was
Probably
just
the worst
curious.
ones were like me and John at the time, but we had too much
And-
time on our hands, I guess.
And I gotta say, I saved the best for last, even though I don't even know if I missed anyone mention their parts. Maybe I'll go back and double check. But my favorite part, other than Jason Adams in the video, was John Lucero when I was growing up, just because it was so outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. John finally got his day in the sun. He was supposed to be in a PS Sticks video, Schmidt Sticks video, back in the 80s. And I guess they filmed part of it, and then him and his other friend went and got drunk instead and didn't film their part because back then nobody made videos. There was like a couple Powell videos, and you get a crew for a day. Like, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here. We're gonna film the whole video in one day.
Right.
Yeah.
Here, then John went and got drunk and didn't film his part. So he didn't get it. And then, that was one of his things he always said. He's like, well, I want to have a part in this video, and he was kind of kicking around what he wanted to do idea-wise. We filmed a couple skits real quick with his wife at the time and all this stuff. And he came up with like, oh, I want to do it to Tequila. Like, yeah, that's classic. Pee Wee Herman, all that stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we would film that, seriously, a lot of it at the office, just around the office when we had time. Like, we'd go across the street and have a little step up, so he does a little rock manual, fakie manual back off. And,
Yep. The bush bounce.
yeah, and he's got all his little odd moves that he can do. Like, he can do that thing, he calls it, I think he calls it the commando, where he kind of step slides, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought it was like a moonwalk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't do it. I don't know if you need a bigger butt than I have or something like that to push it forward. But I try and I look like I'm like having a stuttering fit. But he can just do that anytime he wants. So smooth and just like gliding across the floor doing that thing. And he's always got his little awesome moves that he does.
Oh wait, I know which one you're talking about now. The one where you put your leg in between the other one and slide with on the tail while lifting the nose.
Right.
That's
Oh, he
a
did
good
do
one.
a moonwalk too. He did do the thing
he
where
did.
he
Yep.
shuffled in between his feet. And of course, there's the shot where he hits the camera lens. John was always the one that wrecked the lens.
Mhm.
I don't know why. He wrecked like 2 or 3 of them, but he always had to pay for them. So I'm like, well, there you go. You wrecked another one, dude.
But I love the part because it had so many tricks that I'd never seen before, and we're all about the MBDs. That's always been.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is, as long as I haven't seen it before, it's going to be one of my favorite tricks in the video. Yeah, the one that still, everyone mentions from that part is the slash grind,
Yeah.
turn around,
Slash grind.
grind.
Yeah. Double hitting that trans.
Yeah.
Genius.
I can't tell you the trick to that one. That's an ancient Chinese secret.
Yeah.
Must be.
And then the bounce off the wall to the tail smack to big spin into the drop in. Simple, but
Yeah.
effective.
That one's called the Rusty Nail.
The rusty nail.
And then is it in that part where he shows his bare ass?
That actually, a lot of people think that's John. It's not.
Oh.
That's Jason Adams.
Inside scoop.
Oh, inside.
That's the kid. That's kid's skinny butt on that one. It's kind of blown out in the camera light, so you can't tell too well. But John's the one that comes behind him and slides down the rail the other way.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have the kid on the podcast next.
Yeah, or at least his skinny white ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason. I'm sure Jason's got plenty of stories.
And what opened his part, I guess it's after the credits, after that Clash song, is that animation of the baby dancing. I'm assuming a parody of Ally McBeal.
Oh yeah, everyone's favorite television.
Yeah,
program.
yeah. That character is called Thumbhead because originally it's a thumbprint off of a Village of the Damned, I think, picture, Children of the Damned or whatever it is.
The movie?
Yeah. It was seriously like John took that picture and then added a thumbprint to the top of it and made a big forehead. So he had a flame in there and call him Thumbhead.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy that used to work at PS Sticks at the time named Shark, he was like graphics guy, older guy, used to work at Vision back in the 80s. He had another friend that could kind of do computer stuff. And the guy got that. Remember, you could kind of download that program or whatever to do the Ally McBeal baby?
Right. And it was, that was also in like the Blockbuster commercials and shit.
Yeah.
That baby
so
was everywhere.
It's the thing, and he extends the forehead out and adds a flame to it. And he just gave that to us one day. He's like, hey, check it out. The heck is that? And it had that music on it and everything. So
yeah.
like, hey, let's put it in the video.
Yeah, that was sick.
So that wasn't
about John's thing was we had a party premiere the day before the actual premiere. So the premiere that was going to be at the theater, we wanted to do an exclusive for the team. So we had everybody show up and stuff like that. I didn't even have the effects done for Alfaro's part. We were so behind and everything. So Alfaro's part was like kind of half done. We show him the video, and it doesn't have a Lucero part at all. And Vitek comes up to me. He's like, is John going to have a part? I know you guys been filming one. I go, we didn't get it done, which is true. I mean, his part wasn't done at all. I don't even know if we had it captured in the computer yet.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, yeah, dude, it's not done. And he's like, oh, dude, that sucks. So we end up partying all night. We go to a Denny's and all that stuff like that. And I don't know. I got back, and like I said, I was living at the warehouse. So at 3 a.m, I'm like, let's just start working on Alfaro's part because I want to have it done for the premiere. I worked all the way till like 10 in the morning. And I fall asleep for maybe 5 minutes up in the crack shack. John shows up. He goes, all right, I want my part in the premiere tonight. I'm like, dude, I've been up all night working on Alfaro's part. We don't have your part. It's not even in the computer, dude. It doesn't exist. And he's like, oh, my wife is so sweet when I'm recording, isn't she? Slamming everything around the house.
At least she's not asking you to open up pasta jars or something.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. She's very gentle when she's opening and closing doors. So John's like, nah, man, I really want my part. I want to, he wants to have his moment in the sun at the premiere. So I'm like, all right, dude. Let's, I'm on who knows what, coffee, sleep deprived, all this stuff. And, so we start working on it, and we're getting it done, but then right when we're outputting the tape, the computer starts crashing, and I can't get it output to, like, we had this DV tape, like this DV deck,
Mm-hmm.
and we were going to output it to that, take the whole deck down to the theater, plug it in, show the thing. It starts crashing over and over again. The theater's calling me. They're like almost an hour away. That's how far the theater is from where the warehouse is. And they're like, where are you at? People are already lining up. And we're still sitting there trying to output the video on this tape. And I have to do it old school style. I'm seriously like piecing it together. Stop, play, record, stop, play, record. Because it would get through like one, maybe two pieces, and then it'd crash. And I have to go back, match up the time, do it again. For having a computer that edits at that time, it was so ghetto.
Right.
And then we barely get there in time. The theater is like freaking out at us, screaming things. And I yelled back. I'm like, you got paid, shut up, that stuff. And we show the whole video, and which actually was a learning experience because Hendrix's intro was like twice as long, and somebody yelled, don't go in there, and then everybody laughed in the theater. We're like, ooh, cut that down. Okay. But at the very end, I'm sitting next to Z-Tech, and just, I don't know, Thumbhead came up, and people started getting excited, and when they heard the first couple guitar strums of Tequila, it's like they all knew it somehow. I don't know how. The whole theater just exploded. They all screamed Lucero as loud as they could.
Wow.
And then the shot came up with John, and it was amazing. I almost get kind of goosebumps just thinking about it. But yeah, Z-Tech turned to me. He's like, dude, I knew it. And, I'm like, you don't even know what happened, how this happened, but it came out great. So it was a great moment.
Well, he truly did have his moment in the sun.
He did it.
Yeah.
And we're glad Ally McBeal was there with him.
I know. Could be such a big influence on the Label Kills video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that didn't age at all. Like, everybody knows what that is.
Absolutely. Everyone still loves it.
I still tell people while we're watching that, to this day, I go, you know, this is an Ally McBeal parody, and they're like, "What are you fucking talking about?" And I'm like,
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, then he just starts going, ooga chugga, ooga, ooga, ooga chugga, ooga, ooga. It keeps
Is that
going.
somebody that
Yeah.
you dated or something? What are we talking about?
Yeah. The Blackout video is kind of like the supplementary video to that. I don't know if were you going for like the same feel of editing that video?
Blackout was definitely more rapid. I mean, if I could ever say anything about Blackout, I mean, I loved it. It was a big deal. Had some newer guys. Things were changing a little bit. That's probably when Black Label was hitting the hardest at that point. You know, probably coming off of Label Kills and everything. This is 2 years later now. Videos were edited very fast at that time. Zero videos were very popular. You know, you had Misled Youth in between that. And some of those videos are edited so fast, you barely see the guy take off. You just hear a click and they're in the air. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, we kind of fell into that style a little bit. I wish we would have had a little bit more ride in and ride away, but we had so much footage for that one. Grant came on to help film it, and he filmed so much stuff. And Alfaro was hitting so hard at that time. He was getting a ton of things. And, you know, Ragdoll came about. And Ragdoll...
How did he enter the scene?
Yeah, how did he enter the
He came out of
label sphere?
nowhere.
Ragdoll was a guy. We got this tape, and we all heard that this is a guy that Zero couldn't handle. They just said, like, I don't know if it was Jamie's call, but with Zero it usually was. He went on a trip with him, and apparently he was a nightmare or something like that. So they're just like, yeah, we're not gonna go down that road. Why don't you just shop your tape around or something like that? So we see it, and John's looking at him. John's just like, that guy's amazing, you know, like, his sponsor me tape is nuts. We made a commercial out of his sponsor me tape, which was a Give Blood commercial in a 401. And he would seriously, like, body slam down the biggest thing and then, like, laugh while he's running back up the stairs. Like, there was just so much energy to it and so exciting. And then he started filming that part, and he's such a unique person, too. He skated his boards backwards. All his boards were always backwards. I don't know if you knew that. He always skated with the tail on the nose on the tail. He skated all his boards backwards. We started printing his rider boards. All his graphics were put on backwards because that's the way he wrote them.
And Yell
Just
Legs
like
at
Yell
Legs.
Legs at Daddy Longlegs Cowell.
Yeah.
Fancy Lad rider.
And he said
And
he would
absolute
always
fucking
want...
legend.
He does the same thing, and he said that if he got a pro board, he would want it printed backwards so he could do the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's something about, he said when he first got on board, he just thought the bigger side should be the tail, like the 80s.
Yeah.
More
You know
pop.
Yeah, he started doing crazy stuff, and then that part started coming together, and he wanted to use a different song, and then John's like, oh, no, you got to use this song. And he heard the song and kind of molded over. He's like, yeah, that song's great. The Blackout, you know, we were a lot more conscious about getting song rights for that one because it was kind of the Wild West when you first did skate videos. That's why it's hard to put out some skate video stuff now because YouTube listens and they're like, oh, you don't have this rights for that, you know.
Yeah. So the Netflix escape videos will never exist for that reason.
Yeah, and I think Label Kills definitely gets a boost because the soundtrack is
yeah, it's
pretty
phenomenal.
epic.
Yeah,
right.
It would be so hard to do that now because you would have to go through so many licensing things.
And so many hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably.
Good luck getting Cheap Trick and At the Drive-In in the same video.
At the drive-in, that's like that's the nicest thing. Imagine getting Kiss, Cheap Trick, Black Sabbath, the Sex Pistols. Slayer did call.
Oh, really?
On that call.
They were a fan. They saw the video and they said, that was a sick video.
They just called to see if your refrigerator was running?
This guy called, and I actually answered the phone, or somebody sent it to me. They're like, oh, somebody's on the phone for you. I pick it up. I'm at the office, and this guy goes, hey, I'm this guy. I work for Slayer. He was like the drum tech or something like that at the time. And I was like, oh, hey.
Dave Lombardo's drum tech.
And it was Lombardo's at the time because Paul Bostaph had just left the band again. So Lombardo was going to fill in for the God Hates Us All tour. The guy goes, "Yeah, I'm from Slayer." And as soon as he said Slayer, I just knew what he was calling about.
Yeah.
That little like cold sweat.
Shit.
Like,
Fuck.
oh, hey, man. And he goes, no, it's cool. They just want some free stuff. And then I was like, oh, hey, now the whole thing changed. I was like, whoa, dude. I'm like, you work for Slayer? You know, I had been going to Slayer shows since I was a kid. So I was like, dude, that's nuts. And like, yeah, he came down to the warehouse. I gave him like a grocery cart full of stuff. Like at that time, Giant would be like, yeah, whatever you want, just take it. You know,
Right. I mean, they're probably all taking all apparel at that point, right?
It was a lot of apparel, some kits, some boards for the kids,
Yeah.
things like that. Dave Lombardo, not Dave Lombardo, but Tom Araya actually got a cover of like a guitar magazine wearing a Black Label sweatshirt. So I'm like, yeah,
Fuck
see,
yeah.
it paid off, free advertising.
That's fucking sick.
But then they hit me up and they're like, yeah, you want to come see him rehearse for the tour? So I got to go see him rehearse 3 times in the private rehearsal studio.
And then the 4th time they called, you were like, yo, lose my number, bro. This is over.
Well, I took Svitek with me to one, and I took Gilly to one.
Damn.
So that was cool that they got to go be part of those things. And I got to drink some beers with Jeff Henneman. I'm not saying I had anything to do with him dying of liver failure later on, but it was
But you may have.
Good times.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of signed Slayer stuff now, which I'm pretty stoked about.
Yeah, and you got a metal band yourself, right?
Kind of a rock band, I would say. I mean, definitely not metal.
Sound like some metally riffs.
We have a female-fronted rock band down here in Southern California called New Evil. We've been together for like 5 years. It's fun. I mean, COVID kind of put everything on hold, but I built a rehearsal studio out in the garage now, so we can practice again. We do it safe. We wear masks, and then the singer stands on the other side of the garage with a HEPA filter in front of her. So
Damn.
Yeah.
Heavy
hopefully we
setup.
can start playing out again sometime in 2021 or something.
Yeah. Let me just to go back to Blackout for a minute. I just want to mention a couple clips that stand out. The Patrick Melcher almost bus hit.
Yeah.
That one was on a lot of 4-in-1 commercials for a while.
We definitely played that one up a bit and cut it in such a way that you're just like, what happened? Like,
It was shocking.
Yeah. I mean, it was close to being tragic. It was pretty much as close as it looks in that video. He came off. That was right on Hollywood Boulevard, right by the Chinese Theater, the famous Chinese Theater. There was this ledge that was there for a hot second. He comes off the thing. It might still be there, but I think it's all knobbed now or something like that. But comes off the wall, and he gets almost to the road, and I think Jubb or somebody yelled bus, and he just he steps off the sidewalk, puts his one foot in the road, and then steps back on and spins this way. And he's wearing a jean jacket at the time, and I think the jean jacket, the bus hits the jacket as he's spinning out of the way.
Yeah.
He was that close to just getting taken right off camera, and probably wouldn't have been a very pretty sight at the very end. But yeah, it was crazy. There's a couple close calls like that. There's one shot of Melcher actually locking up on an electrical box and hitting the ground head first. I don't know if you remember that one. We cut that one short because it was actually kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
When it hit, he started going into convulsions a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like that one Lenny Kirk slam.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that dumpster.
Quit sinning.
Kind of a similar thing, but on camera he went into seizures. So we kind of didn't put in the seizure part. We
a little too gnarly.
Too heavy.
Yeah, our friend got hit, got in a moped accident, and the handlebar went into his stomach and his guts went everywhere.
Yeah.
And
I was just thinking about that, but I wasn't going to bring it up.
Yeah. It was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it was hard.
To say the least.
It was hard. I mean, you were in the...
I was in the beer store.
You were in the beer store.
I saw
when
the
it
aftermath.
happened.
Yeah, I didn't see it actually go down.
I saw it happen, and that's when I realized what kind of person I am, because all I did was I turned to Eric and I said, "Is it over, Eric?" I was just I was freaking out. But luckily, Yell Exit again, Adam Daddy Longlegs Cowell
Mm-hmm.
and good friend CJ Knopf were there because they both ran and held our friend's guts in and made sure that he didn't die.
And he survived.
And he lived.
That's gnarly. Getting disemboweled by
gnarly.
a moped, you know.
It was insane. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Well, you
But
know what? Sorry to
Made a
bring
board,
it up.
made
but,
a
you
good
know,
board graphic.
did make a board graphic out of it for
Yeah.
Discord, and he really wanted he paid me the setup fee to make that graphic because he really wanted to make it happen. For
You
the
know,
glory.
Skateboarders, we do dangerous things, man. Like we play around, and sometimes you lose the game a little bit. But oddly enough, I don't think I can name anybody that's ever like professional. I can't name one professional that's ever died skateboarding.
Right.
Well, yeah,
But I can name a list of dudes that died partying.
Right.
yeah,
For sure.
besides that one GX dude, he was like the first guy.
That was just like a few
Oh.
months ago.
You're talking about the kid in Frisco.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, he was getting towed up a hill and fell in front of a dump truck.
Yeah.
I think he fell off the truck and the car in front, and the truck was behind him.
Yeesh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you know, enough about that. All
That
that
stuff gets. I know this got really
stuff.
morbid.
Yeah, I know.
What are you
You know
doing?
what? I'm sorry. It's just something about this, this dark, edgy brand of Black Label
Mhm.
with all your barcodes and your flame logos and your
Right,
elephant
right.
logo.
Oh, we used to have some funny stuff too, like the imagery. We would have, God save the label, label saves, things like that. And people started thinking we were like a religious company or something like that.
Mhm.
Right.
Guy called us up one time with a graphic idea. And he just goes, "Get this." This is how he said it too. He goes, "Get this. What would the label do?"
Dude,
Nice.
I would wear that bracelet for sure.
And we were all like, "Hey, well, I don't know. What would they do?" Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Never made it, but sounds good.
The flames. They must have been a little influenced by inflammable material, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's flammable material. The graphic that John does, he does like the label flame that looks like it. I think he even has that board out again right now, like a new version of it. And the flame actually, which by the way, I got the God Save the Label right there.
Oh,
heck
hell
yeah.
yeah.
The flame actually is just one John drew one day before they scanned it into a computer. He drew it in the 90s. He drew it by hand every time, so it'd come out different all the time. And this is one that was just scanned probably in like 1998 or something like that.
Mhm.
And if you look at it backwards, it's very, very crooked. It's off to one side.
Hmm.
We've tried to fix it many times, and every time we fix it, we both agree we're like, that sucks, and then we
Yeah.
just put the crooked one back on it.
I don't know why. The only other thing that's jumping out at me right now about Black Label is the Ben Gilly 5.0 first try down El Toro.
Mm.
Which
Yeah.
did you film that?
That's Blackout. I didn't film that. His friend filmed that. But I did see all the raw footage of it. So there's 4 tries. First 2 tries are 50-50s. He slams both times. He doesn't make a 50-50. He's never done El Toro before because you just don't go and do El Toro. It's not
Right.
like, hey, let's go hang out and skate El Toro for a while. And he went there to 5.0 it. He slams twice on the 50-50 and he gets mad and he goes, "I'm just going to do it." He runs up the stairs, 5.0s it first try.
Damn.
And then pulls one of the Jamie Thomas things and goes, "I don't like how I kind of move my foot a little bit." Runs back up the stairs, does it again. He tried to 5.0 it twice. He landed both times. And I think the second one's in the video. But the
Damn.
first one's pretty much the same.
Also, a frontside 5.0 by Jamie Thomas in Misled Youth when he does
Yeah.
the one more try.
Yeah, the one more
Ironically
time.
enough.
Something about that trick. Apparently guys are like, "I need to do it one more time."
Mm.
Yeah. And they usually end up looking identical, I guess.
Right. Something in their mind, it was totally better the second time, but
Right.
everybody else, like, yeah, all right, cool. Glad you didn't die.
Yeah, and then Back in Black and God Save the Label. I'm not as familiar with Back in Black, although it is Shane Powell's favorite Black Label video, as we know.
That was kind of a different time too. That was like Kyle Leeper and like a different crew was going through at that point.
Yeah, new era of Black Label.
Yeah, wait, Sleeper in that one? He's not. He's in God Save the Label. No, he's in Back in Black, I think. Yeah.
I
That
know
was,
Kyle Leeper's in God Save the Label. I really like that Peter Watkins part in God Save the
Watkins is
Label.
in it. Anthony Schultz. God Save the Label. That's Vince DeValle and Peter Raffin, Peter Watkins, Sharik and Shannon. Yeah, and I mean, after a while, my brain starts turning to mush too.
That'll happen.
But I definitely, every one of those videos have a special place in my heart, for sure, because they take a long time to make. So after a while, you're like, yeah. And what's cool is when you see them again later on, you'll forget things that you did. And you're like, oh, that was neat. I totally forgot about that.
Did you have the most time filming? I mean, this is more so a question comparing Blackout and Label Kills. Like the time frame of filming, was it more for Label Kills than it was for Blackout?
No, quite the opposite. Blackout was like filming straight 2 years, whereas Label Kills was like 6 months.
Oh,
And a
wow.
lot of that stuff was just filmed by various people and all thrown together. I filmed a lot of it, but then John filmed some. Svitak would be like handing a camera to one of his friends. Hey, film this. To get some of these guys, some of them weren't just full-time skaters anymore. Like they had other things going on. Wade was working construction and skateboarding. Salman, he skated still, but not like, he used to when he was a little kid or something like that.
But his heart was in pizza.
Not yet. He still had to go through some energy drinks and some websites and stuff first. The skate book, remember the skate book? Salman's always an entrepreneur. He's always got something going on, But the pizza's really working out well, and it's really good pizza.
I've been there. Pizzanista.
Yeah. They just opened a Japanese location.
Oh, wow.
So now there's one in LA, one in Long Beach, and one in Japan.
Were you there filming the Jason Adams Ender?
No, that was filmed by Matt Eversole and I think Chris Avery. And that was how that came about.
Exit tilt mode.
There's a slap interview Jason had a few years before that, and it was just a small photo sequence of him doing that. And John's like, "Whoa, where's the footage for that?" And he's like, "Oh, we didn't film it." And so he's like, "Can you?" And Jason's funny because Jason was probably 27 at the oldest. He might have even been like 25, 26. He's about my age. And according to Jason, his career was over. He's like, "Oh, I'm old. I'm washed up." This is, that's just his personality. He's always like, I'm terrible. All the kids are great now. I'm the worst. And, we're like, dude, no, you're awesome. You're Jason Adams.
Yeah.
We love the way you skate. Do your thing. He's like, you can't put a slappy in there. Yeah, put the slappy in. Do this, do that. You got to embrace who you are.
The GOAT.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. And so John's like, yeah, man, you got to get that. So we started getting these tapes. And remember at the time, Greco and Reynolds were really hitting it off, and the Baker stuff and everything. They were dropping hammers.
Yeah.
So that was the expression, dropping hammers. It's hammer time. So we started getting these tapes from Jason. He's filming up north, and we're filming down south. They say dropping hamburgers. And like they'd start saying dropping lawnmowers or dropping anvils. It'd always be something heavier at the time. And that footage was like suddenly you're getting like the front board slide down a 14-stair handrail, the 180 nose grind down a big hubba.
Yeah.
And he went back and did that board slide. And when we saw that, we're like, that's it. I mean, you can't, that's the best shot. Eversole had the fisheye. Avery had the long lens. And you're just like, wow, that was nuts. And that was one at the premiere that I was worried the video was going to be a letdown after that clip because people lost it when they saw that one. As Clyde Singleton said,
for good reason.
The big piece of chicken for that one.
Wait, what did he say?
Clyde Singleton did a review, I think, for Big Brother, and he said, Jason Adams, damn, give him the big piece of chicken for that one.
Nice. I like
the best review we got, by the way, don't mean to throw any shade, but Transworld's review was, it was okay. It was something like that. It was like, it was okay, it was all right. That was the whole review. It was like one sentence. I was like, really?
And look at him now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Got them far.
Like we got this awesome review from Clyde Singleton, and then like I think Thrasher gave us a pretty good review, and Trans was like, yeah, it's all right.
Well,
Like, cool, man.
yeah. And
I'm not
Svitek
gonna
had
be reviewed it. You can Google that if you can find it and look it up for yourself. But it was a skater.
the cover with his bloody teeth, which apparently that clip made him a lot of money too. He said.
Yeah, well, it's good because those teeth didn't come out too great.
Yeah.
Choppers in the front.
Which is
I
funny
can't talk
because
too much smack. These are all fake too.
oh, I was gonna say I got 2 fake teeth, and I was gonna say after I broke them, I went over to the that my friend's house, Punk Rock Sam, and tried to put him in a glass of milk to save him. But
Nice.
yeah, but
Mine weren't savable. They shattered like glass.
no,
They
it
just
didn't.
shattered.
It didn't work out for me too. I had to get 2 fake teeth. But yeah, I just, I love the brand. We've mentioned here on the podcast that Black Label and Zero are the 2 brands that we allow the Fancy Lad Riders to rep because they're 2 of the most punk rock, aesthetic companies that have stayed true to their brands.
Right. And if they rep any other brand besides Fancy Lad or Label or Zero, they will see our lawyers at their doorstep.
Yep. They will immediately be kicked off the team.
One thing I got to give props to Lucero about, and this is not talking smack on any other brand or anything like that, but he's always owned Black Label 100% outright. He's never had investors. There's no silent investors. When things are good, that's great. But when things are bad, John's the one that's going to be sitting there holding the banner, making sure people know it still exists. Before this all went down, when things went downhill, 5 years ago, whatever it was, when a lot of people were having a hard time making ends meet, John went back to the garage. He was literally selling out of his garage.
Yeah.
And to this day, I got a different job that I do. I do different jobs, like some Hollywood stuff, but I still help out John all the time. And he's still handling sales. He's still packing boxes. He's still shipping stuff, so
I love it. True.
Yeah, man. Like, you can't kill Black Label because
True DIY.
just John,
Yeah.
As long as John's alive, Black Label's alive.
Yeah. Label kills. Label does not get killed.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I feel about my brand, Fancy Lad Skateboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never be bought, never be sold. It's not just a slogan. He's been offered here and there, like, we can get you this much money for it and stuff like that, and he's just like, nah, dude, because you guys aren't going to do it the way I want it done. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next Black Label video.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. I hope somebody else makes it or something.
Do you think there's another full length on the horizon?
There could be. I mean, it's so hard nowadays because, with the internet and stuff like that, a lot of people just put out parts, it's like, oh, because that guy is ripping, and you're like, am I going to drag all these dudes out and try to get them to do something, or
just
get a camera at the kid that's out there doing it?
Just get a fresh batch of Jubs, and
well,
just
Jub. Actually, I just skated with him on Sunday.
Oh, sick.
Jub lives out here in California, and my wife is high risk because she's got a couple of ailments, so we have to keep things really tight on the COVID front. But Jub's whole family, has already had it, so he's kind of in my immunity crew. We already got clearance from the doctors. They're like, well, if you already had it, you're good. So I go skating with Jub.
Awesome.
And everybody else I can't see, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I got
Kevin. Is there anything else that you want to plug, or do you have any other questions for Patrick here?
I think we pretty much covered it all.
I know you were looking at a lot of his LinkedIn.
I know I could ask him about his work at Mattel.
Right.
I could ask about your work at Mattel.
Sure.
What did you do for Mattel? I want to know.
I don't know. Have I ever worked there?
I don't know. That's what your LinkedIn says.
Oh, no. I do a lot of freelance work.
Okay, so you did freelance work.
I worked on some Barbie commercials. And
nice. Oh, Barbie.
I've worked on some random stuff, man. Like, I see these commercials come on, LOL surprise. I'm like, oh, I've done some of that stuff. which
I
I
bought my
don't
niece
get.
some LOL surprise stuff last
get
Christmas.
that
I have no idea what
toy
it
at
is,
all.
but yeah.
It's like stuff you're supposed to open, and it looks like food and candy, but don't eat it because it's toxic. You know,
Right.
who's this marketing? Are we just trying to poison kids? I don't know. Open this up and get a smaller, more chokeable toy.
You're just trying to weed out the dumb ones. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I forget what's on the LinkedIn. Yeah, no, I mean I've done a lot of Disney stuff and everything like that. The world's weird in the film world, you know.
Right. Yeah, two opposite ends of the spectrum there, too, kind of. You got Black Label,
Mhm.
and you got Disney and Mattel.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, I've done a lot of tech decks. I think I'm supposed to do some more soon. I don't know if we still see checks for that. I don't know how many they sell, but
I was thinking about reaching out to them.
Got to.
Any other crazy Omar Hassan stories? You know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, Omar, he's a unique individual. The Japan trip that we went on, that was right when I started at Black Label. Like seriously, like I started working for him, and then they go, "Do you have a passport?" And I'm like, I can't pay rent, so I don't have the passport. I don't have anything. And then, so they get me a passport. We go to Japan, and then on the way out there, it's like a long flight, man. It's like long, you know, I don't know, somewhere between 14 and 20 some hours. Omar is hitting on this stewardess, and he's getting hammered the whole time, just plastered. We get there, and he's all like swaying all over the place and stuff like that. And the guide goes, contest. And we're like, what? I mean, we just got off the plane. We're still at the airport. And he goes, yeah, contest. They have like their own X Games. And we didn't even know about it. They flew out like, remember Illenium? Like Illenium was there, like Al Partman and Greg Lutzka and all these guys for Illenium. And then like
The Lutzka
was there. So they had like Neil Mims and Kane Gale. And there was all these guys. And they're like, oh, you got to skate this contest. And Omar is like, seriously, he's like floundering around the course and stuff like that. And he's just slamming all over, sweating profusely. It's the middle of August. It's hot as could be there. And finally, they start the contest. He sobers up and he wins.
Whoa.
Because that's the way Omar is. It's like the guy every time he skates, it's a demo. You know, it's gonna be a show. It's gonna be a demo, and he's gonna probably win your contest. And he's just got that mentality. I used to take him to spots that nobody else wanted to skate. So if everybody's like, I don't know, if that rail's sketchy, I don't want to skate that, I'd take Omar to it. Because Omar would be like, yeah, I don't care. And he just go flying down it, slam his face on the way down. He still got it. He's also been hurt more than anybody else on the team, for sure. I mean, torn knees, cut his whole scalp back. Like, do you remember that whole thing?
No.
He scalped himself at one of those downtown showdowns at Paramount Studios. It was on a Hall of Meat for Thrasher one time.
I'll have to check that out. Literally scalped himself.
Yeah, I filmed that too because I was just filming for us. Like they had professional camera crews there, but I was filming, and they Creature, like everybody could build an obstacle. Like they had all these invited teams, and you could build an obstacle. Creature built this thing. They called it the Darth Vader helmet. It was like this weird lump over thing, and then there was a bank over here up against the wall, but there was a door cut out of it, and you were supposed to crouch down, like kind of shoot the tube, and come out, skate the bank, and come back under it, and there was like a transition on the other side.
Yeah.
But then because they're Creature and they want to be creepy about it, they added a saw blade right there at the edge.
Oh, Jesus.
And the saw blade wasn't too low, but there was like one tooth sticking down. And that dude, Stu Graham, I saw him hit it, like on the warm-ups. He hit it and like skinned a line back down his head.
Yeah.
Took his knee off and stuff like that. So they moved the blade up while it's still there. And then Omar's coming through during the contest, and it's just chaos because everybody's going at the same time. They're like, go! And there's just Tony Cervantes from Zero. He goes to do a trick, and he's coming down, and he like falls into the area where you're supposed to go through the little door. And Omar's coming through the little door, and he sees his board come down. And he stood up while he's going through and hits a 2x6, and it just caught him here, split his scalp all the way back to like there. I mean, I'm looking at his skull, just
Yeah.
white skull. There was
Yeah.
there's no muscle or anything up there. It was just all the skin was pulled completely back, and he's bald, so you can see everything.
Yeah.
And it's so gnarly, dude, because you just see it open and then just blood. You know, it was like, oh no! Just, I'm looking through the camera. I go, oh man, somebody just got messed up. I look up. I'm like, oh, that's Omar. Oh crap!
It's straight out of a horror movie.
It literally was.
Could have
And
been
then we've done a graphic for it too that we keep putting out.
See, that's just like the moped accident there.
Yeah. There's a drawing of Omar. He looks like he's the Bones Ripper. He's coming out of like the rip, but it's the label flame, and then he's got like a skull face, but the top of his head's all just staples. I think Dave Swift took a photo of him after he got his staples put in.
Yeah.
It was pretty sketchy.
Well, I'm gonna have to look up this Hall of Meat here.
You know, it's never fun to watch people almost die.
Well,
you know?
this one seems like it's at least one of a kind.
that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't think he almost died, but it was gory. I mean, it was a gruesome looking injury for sure.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
you like looking at gore, I got to film some good stuff sometimes. You know?
Yeah, my favorite skate video is 911. Not Thrasher
Oh,
911
yeah,
Emergencies. The 411 released 911, which is all slams.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
A lot of knees and ankles going.
What about
And
Ricky?
Everybody loves that one where the elbow goes the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
I've always been a fan of the XYZ video.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Meet your maker, yeah.
Yeah, Meet Your Maker.
They had the Run of the Bulls, and that dude's head came off. Like
Yeah.
the spine was still attached.
I remember we showed that before at the premiere for the Emerica video for This Is Skateboarding. The Coliseum had a premiere for that, and we showed the XYZ video before that, and God, people were fucking amped after that. I'll tell you.
What about Ricky Espinoza? I feel like he's the only one that we didn't mention.
Oh, yeah, Sweet Ricky.
Yeah.
Well, it's easy to not mention Sweet Ricky because he's so quiet. He was such a quiet dude, you know.
He was a quiet guy.
Yeah, he would always even when he talked, he'd be quiet. He'd be like, hey, how you doing? And you're like, what's up, Rick? He's like, I'm going to start doing my kickflips really low because I like the way it looks.
Nice.
Okay. So if you look at his part, all his flip tricks, he did them as low as he could because he thought it just looked cool. Like he would do like these big handrails and stuff like that, but he still looked like he was almost like bored or something while he was doing it. Like,
And he's a tall guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a tall guy and just, do this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I forgot Rick was on the team. Actually, Ricky's never been kicked off the team, and I don't think he quit. So he might unofficially still ride for Blacklow. I'm not sure if he knows that.
We might see another Ricky Espinoza part in the near future.
It might be happening.
Hey, tell him to send in the footage. I'll put it together. Sure, I'll do a Ricky part.
I'm gonna message him. I'm gonna let him know.
Yeah, Sweet Rick part. I'd be down. Pretty Ricky.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I just want to thank you again for being on the podcast. And I mean, feel free to ask John if he wants to be on because that would be something else.
I'll try, but man, I know he's a huge fan of the 9 Club, and I can't get him on that either. I think he gets nervous.
Well, you know what? Tell him to take a test run on Fancy Lad podcast, and then maybe he'll feel like going on whatever this 9 Club is that you're talking about. Because I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
But this is like the punk rock version of the 9 Club. Tell him that.
Right. That's true. You know, actually, I saw earlier today on Instagram, our good friend Dane Berman was posting questions, and people were asking why he wasn't on the 9 Club. And he was saying he just wasn't interested in being on the 9 Club. He didn't really want to talk to those guys. He had nothing against them.
Why you got to run over old ground?
Exactly. And I was like, why aren't you saying, why would I be on the 9 Club? I was already on Fancy Lad podcast.
Yeah. So we had Dane Berman. Before you, we had a streak of exclusively Zero or heroin riders, and now we're branching off into Black Label.
Yep.
Nice.
And we did have
riders. Have you ever talked to Chet?
Haven't talked to Chet yet.
No.
He'd probably talk.
We did have Ryan Gallant, who wasn't on Zero,
that's right.
But his son's name is Hensley, and he's named after Matt Hensley, so that ties the whole thing together.
So is Wade Spires' first, or not his first kid, but his son is named Hensley. Because he met his wife at Hensley's Bar, which
Oh, really?
an amazing bar, and I miss it so much.
Well,
Hensley's Flying Elephant Pub.
it's a shame. It's a damn shame.
We had a lot of industry parties at that place, and one of the best Guinnesses you'll ever have. They could pour a good Guinness. They brought in specialists to do it.
Wow.
It's all about the pour.
Yeah, you gotta do it right. You gotta pour.
Because it tastes
pour
like trash
half.
otherwise.
Let
Yeah,
it
you
set
pour
up.
half, then you go make everybody else's drinks. You come back, pour the other half, and you're good to go. Somebody just pours you a Guinness and hands it to you, send it back.
Yeah, they fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be waiting like at least 4 minutes for that Guinness.
It's supposed to be at least 144. That's what I heard.
144?
Yeah, you got to wait at least a minute 44 before you can pour the rest. 144, then the pour.
It's a good thing to live by, you know?
I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm going to put a timer on next time I order a Guinness.
144
If I
before
ever
you
get
pour.
to order one again. But
And if somebody can draw a shamrock in the top, then that's just gravy.
yeah.
I usually ask for the mushroom stamp on the top.
Oh.
If they
I've
can do
had
it.
somewhere they do that thing where they like move it and they can somehow draw it in the foam. You're like,
Oh,
wow,
yeah, they do all that foam art.
Mm-hmm.
fancy lad.
Exactly. Patrick, once again, it's been a pleasure. And, yeah, keep up the good work. Hopefully, you still get to edit a Black Label video. I guess that's all I'll say.
Yeah, there's some young rippers coming up on the team now. I mean, Patrick Ryan's pro for him, Jake Reuter. There's this other kid, Malachi Montez out of Hawaii, who's awesome. So there's some new blood being breathed into the brand, and I know John's looking at a couple other guys and stuff like that. It's, as I said, it's still all John, so it's got to catch his eye before anything can happen.
Right.
Well, be sure to send him a link to this podcast when it comes out.
Mhm.
And then,
They'll probably be like, "Oh, you're kissing my butt too much."
yeah.
I always do.
And then I think his song he's gonna start singing a different song once he hears this podcast.
Tequila.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That one word song.
Yeah, the one-word song.
But
Tequila.
yeah, I hope you have a great holiday and a great 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you too, guys, man. Thanks for having me on. This was great.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome.
We appreciate it.
Till next time.
Have a good one.
All
You
right.
as well. Thank you.
Bye, Patrick.
Yeah.